Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
It's time for the Tyson Degenhart Show with Boise State basketball star Tyson Degenhart, sponsored by Idaho Central Credit Union. Find a branch near you or get more information at iccu.com. Now, here's Tyson Degenhart with BJ Rains for another edition of the Tyson Degenhart Show on Bronco Nation News.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Thursday night to you, and welcome on into the Tyson Degenhart Show here at Bronco Nation News. It is Season 2, Episode 2, and my name is BJ Rains with BNN, and as always, host of the Tyson Degenhart Show, Tyson Degenhart. How we doing, Tyson?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. As always, our show is presented by Idaho Central Credit Union. Doing great things in the community, and we were there last night at Bora High School. We're going to get into that, but ICCU's logo was plastered all over the scoreboards and the wall there at Bora High School, so they are doing a tremendous job helping out the local community. Obviously have Tyson signed up for an NIL deal. Their sponsors, the BNN, and so that's how we're making this whole thing work here on the show. So thank you to ICCU. You see their logo behind me as well on Tyson's shirt there. So always appreciate ICCU, and they do a great job, Tyson.
They most definitely do. It's been fun to finally have a credit union that I can trust with all my money, and finally got it all moved over. And so excited to be fully a part of the ICCU family.
Check them out, iccu.com, for all your banking needs. And again, they're supporting Tyson. They're supporting the local high school teams, a lot of college teams in the state. So return the favor and make sure you make the switch over to ICCU. We got a fun show tonight, Tyson. A couple of your new teammates are going to join us.
Yeah, we got first joining us will be Javin Buchanan, our NAIA All-American transfer from Indiana Wesleyan. Then following him will be our transfer point guard from San Jose State, Alvaro Cardenas. So we have two of our transfers here on the show tonight, and excited for you guys to get to know them.
We're still working on another guest from a non-basketball team, right? I don't know if we want to say who it is or not. I know we kind of joked about it last time, so I don't know. We're trying to get Ashton Genty, and we're going to try to make that happen, but scheduling-wise didn't work this week, so got some of your teammates on, but that still is a goal, hopefully in the future, to get Ashton and or Spencer Danielson, correct?
Yeah, that is the goal. Just didn't work out this week, and hopefully to get them on before team camp or fall camp starts, because I know their days in fall camp are very, very busy.
Well, we were out last night, man. Ton of fun out there at Bora High School watching the slam dunk, the three-point contest. You were on the call there with us for the game. You were doing the judging for the dunk contest. But, man, seeing Justinian Jessup and Marcus Shaver and all these guys go back and forth with the three-point contest, man, that was a lot of fun last night.
It was incredible to watch. I was over on the other side of the court as you were, and just going back and forth watching Shave and Jessup just make some shots. It was a very, very fun experience last night, and had a pretty good turnout for summer and a gym with no AC. So shout out to Bronco Nation for showing out, and shout out to all my teammates being there, a couple of them being in the dunk contest, and it was a very, very fun night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They ended up having to go to the half quarter here to decide the winner of the three-point contest, or at least this bracket, and Justinian Jessup made his second attempt. Marcus Shaver unable to get his to go, and Justinian Jessup moves on. Man, just a nice crowd last night. It was a little warm in the building. But how about 5'9" Montego Alford here, 45-inch vertical, almost hits his head on the rim there. Nice dunk there. But overall, the game was fun as well, Tyson. And TBT once a Bronco going to be in action at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And I know that you guys will have that somehow up on the TV there in the team room.
Absolutely. We're really excited for them. Got to see them before they headed out today, and just really, really excited to see what they can do. Great showing from them last night. Got their legs underneath them a little bit, and then headed off to Houston tonight. And really, really excited for the opportunity they have tomorrow.
Yeah, should be fun to watch. And man, what Derek Marks, Thomas Bro play. I mean, you go back. I mean, we heard you guys had quite the evening over at Leon's house the other night, telling stories, and then Leon said that he kicked out the current players and all the former players stayed around and told stories well into the night. And he said Derek Marks and I forget who Derek Marks and these guys are playing one-on-one in his kitchen. I think Abu Kijab and him were playing one-on-one in his kitchen and having fun. And it just Boise State basketball, I know you guys kind of preach that family mindset and attitude. And when you intertwine the former players and the current players, seems like that's been pretty cool. And hopefully this is an event that, can become a yearly thing here.
Absolutely. I think it's the best week of the summer just to see the teammates I've had, the former players all come together and help us out in ways we could never imagine. Just, picking their brain a little bit, creating more of that brotherhood as you were talking about. And it's something I look forward to every weekend or every summer that we have it. And hopefully it's going to be a yearly thing. And I know you were mentioning it last night on the broadcast. We're hoping to get the TBT to host here in Boise next year. So I think that'd be awesome to have them here, and hoping to keep that going.
What about the current team before we bring Javan on, man? I know you had the kids camp this week and stuff, but you guys have still been practicing, working out. How's the team looking, man?
Team's coming together nicely. In the summer, it's kind of hard to tell with not as much structure offensively and defensively, trying to figure some stuff out with a lot of new guys. But we have a great group of guys that really, really bought into our system and are really working to get better each and every day. And we just have a bunch of gym rats on our team. And, as a guy that wants to win a lot, that's exactly what you want on the team. And it's just very, very exciting seeing all the young guys in the gym, and just having everyone here has been really, really great.
I'll ask you my annual question. Who's been impressive of late?
It's a tough question. It's been cool to see Omar come back. He had his foot surgery. He's been, easing his way back in, and just to see him back on the court has been awesome. He just provides such another dynamic playmaker for us. And I've been impressed with Al. Playing against him 5 games over the course of 3 years and watching a lot of San Jose State film, during conference play, he's been everything we could have asked and more. Just the way he leads, the way he's a leader, and just the on-court skills, the toughness he brings. He's going to be an incredible addition to our team.
If you've got a question or a comment for Tyson or our first guest, Javin Buchanan, or Alvaro Cardenas, who's going to join after, feel free to get those in the ICCU YouTube chat. Ronald saying, "Go Broncos." Jake saying, "Great show, guys." Allison is saying, "Boise." So as you guys know, these interviews and the show is way more fun with the interaction from you guys and the questions. So if you got a question for Tyson or Javin, go ahead and get that in the chat now. We'll get to those. Before we bring Mr. Buchanan on here, Tyson, what's been your early impressions of one of your newest teammates here?
He's been incredible. 2 years at Indiana Wesleyan, proved a lot there, an NAI All-American, and has come in and just been a grinder. Just the way he leads. He's a great leader, very vocal, enjoys being around the team, enjoys being in the gym, provides this dynamic playmaking at the 2-guard spot, and he can handle the ball and knock some threes. And he's very, very physical, very strong, and can be a very, very great addition for our team.
Well, I wish we had I can see him backstage here having some fun and dancing. I wish we had that on the camera here. You go ahead and bring him on if you want here, Tyson.
Yeah. Like to introduce one of our transfers, NAIA All-American, number 22, Javin Buchanan.
Let's get it.
Welcome to the show, man. How you feeling?
Feeling great. Me and Al are just in here shooting, so I was going to hop on right after me.
Perfect. That sounds
Any
great.
chance you can turn your camera sideways there so we can fill up the screen a little bit? If you don't mind. There we go.
Perfect.
And if you want to flex again like you were before we brought you on, you can feel free to.
No.
Just a backstage thing?
Yeah, this is a backstage thing.
How's Boise treating you so far? You've been here for 5-6 weeks now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I didn't expect to mess with you and all the guys so quickly, but man, it's been even more than I expected. Like, I had a great feeling about it, and it's just blown me away how just awesome it's been. The transition's been so smooth, and it's just been awesome to say the least.
talk a little bit about how much you're enjoying the city. I know you floated the river. You've been around town a little bit. Talk a little about how much you've enjoyed Boise, the city.
Yeah, I enjoyed the city a lot. Like I remember when I was coming on the plane here, like I'm going to Boise, and then it's like just hills, 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 and then just this city out of nowhere, and then it just really surprised me. But I don't have a car yet, but I've been doing my best about Lyman to downtown and seeing stuff and all that stuff. But it's been great. Like I floated the river with a lot of guys, and that was the experience for sure. But it was awesome. Like I loved it. The water is freezing.
Have we figured out the mystery of Simon yet?
Yeah. He contacted me like quickly, like
okay,
super quick. But no, shout out Simon. He's probably watching this, but probably the best.
I need to find out. I need to find out off air who this Simon is. I think we got to do a story on this or something.
That's
you know this story, right, Tyson?
I don't.
I mean, tell
even fill in the viewers maybe that don't know. I know this a random person maybe in part helped you come to Boise, right?
Yeah, I remember just being on the like waiting in line to get on the plane in Denver, which getting to Denver, I'm such a nervous flyer, was so terrible. The plane was just like the whole time. And then we get off, and then I'm waiting in line for the next plane. And then this guy named Simon's just standing in line. I'm like, what's up? Like, is it always this crazy getting into Denver and in and out of Denver? And he's like, yeah, it's always cool. And then we happen to sit next to each other. He's like, man, I've been a Boise State fan forever. Like, you need to come here. And then we were literally just, it took all my nerves away from the flight because I was just talking to him the whole time. And then it just seemed like we just landed. So it was just such a good feeling, like to get to know a local and then just how nice he was and show me pictures of everything. It was just awesome.
Well, I guess we got to give a huge shout out to Simon for getting you because you're an incredible addition to this team. And what have you liked about the coaching staff so far? I mean, had a couple practices, scrimmage against the vets. What do you think of them so far?
I think I just love the dynamics of the coaching staff. Obviously, there's so many different personalities, like getting in the gym with Berto and Lex every day and like is awesome. And then you got Bernie, who's just like this explosive personality, but it's always out of love. So it's just so much respect from Bernie. And then Leon is just obviously just a leader. And like I can't say enough good things about him. Like you guys already know, but I've just been impressed with how well they are like dialed in with each person's like growth and overall just journey. And like they care so much about each and every person. Like nobody on this team's just sitting there, just a roster spot. Like they care about everybody from top to bottom. So that's been awesome to just see that.
Have you heard any of Burns' crazy stories yet?
Yeah, it's not like every day. It feels like every day there's a new Burns story.
He's got a lot of them. I mean, BJ did an article about it 1 or 2 years ago about getting in the box against Nolan Ryan at the 79 All-Star game around there, BJ.
Meeting rock stars. He's doing all kinds. I mean, I want to write a book with that guy someday. I mean, he's had quite the life for sure.
He's an incredible person. I do want to talk to you a little bit about your childhood and upbringing, kind of where you grew up, how you got into basketball, and kind of your high school recruiting process as that goes along.
Yeah, I grew up in Lafayette, Indiana. Most everyone knows Lafayette for Purdue University. And, I mean, I was always kind of just like the chubby fat kid growing up. And then eventually during high school, I kind of got a growth spurt and semi-athletic heading into like my senior year. I got pretty athletic. But I was just overall a late bloomer. And then recruiting was kind of late because I only played one true season of like real AAU ball. And then I committed to Indiana Wesleyan because it felt like right. And then I kind of got an offer from another a Division I school while I was already committed, but I wanted to keep my commitment with Indiana Wesleyan, and it worked out like perfectly. Like I don't think I would have been the player I am today whatsoever if I didn't go to that level. So it's been crazy just to see where I'm at now, but it's been awesome.
If you have any questions, please get them in the comments. We're always looking for some more questions. Back to Indiana Wesleyan, like what was some of the biggest things you learned playing at the NAIA level that have helped you kind of transition into Division I basketball?
I think I just learned the game a lot more. Like I got great experience. Like I said, I didn't have a ton of prior experience in like high level basketball. and the conference I was in was really good in terms of NAIA basketball. It's probably the toughest conference in NAIA basketball. So it prepared me physically, especially like the weight room, college weight room. As a freshman, like I had a big frame, but didn't really have the good body composition. So in terms of like improving my body, and then probably the biggest thing for me was just how it impacted me, impacted my faith. And then I think that in turn just exploded my game on a whole nother level.
Did you ever end up playing College of Idaho, NAIA school? Did you ever end up playing them over your 2 years?
No, they won it my freshman year. They won the whole thing. And then last year, they are in the tournament. I think they were in the Sweet 16, but they ended up losing. I think they lost like the same round we lost, but we didn't get to play them. But I know they're really good.
We got a question from Josh here. It says, before you were recruited, had you ever heard of Boise State or had an impression of us?
Yeah, I had everybody's impression as like, this is the blue field. That's where the blue field is. And then that's probably the only thing I knew about Boise State. Just NCAA college football 14, playing on the blue field. It's probably the only thing I knew, honestly.
Do you know, Tyson, they about 4 or 5 years ago when they redid the court, you know, they actually mocked up a blue court to see what it would look like?
They did?
Yes. There was a blue court, and then they thought it just was a little too much, and they couldn't go for it.
Yeah, especially for TV.
You've seen Memphis and some of those, yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do it. I just think it's on TV, it's a little too much.
Yeah.
And I like how simple our court is, just very simple, white lines, at the blue base lines. You know, it makes everything pretty simple. You got a comment from, looks like your mom.
Oh, God. Hey, Mom.
Maybe she'll have some good questions for us. Get the real dirt going here in the interview. Come on.
If you ask her to send any picture of me when I was chubby, she'll send it right away. Just ask her.
We got a question from Ryan here. What professional player do you model your game after?
That's a good question. I don't think it's one specific guy. I just think I like watching the game and like picking parts from people. Like I feel like I have like a lot of people all like I've gotten so much, and it's so crazy because we're the exact same age, which is insane. It's Paulo Banchero. And I get that so much, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but like we're the same age, so yeah, I guess. But no, I mean, I really love LeBron's my GOAT. I watch a lot of LeBron, especially transition stuff. I know people might hate on me for that, but I just like watching a ton of guys.
It's so funny. I played against Paulo twice in high school because we went to the state tournament, ended up playing O'Day my freshman year in the round of 12, in the loser out round, and then we ended up playing him in the state championship the next year, and he had 20 and 15 on us. And
yeah, he's nasty.
He showed his full arsenal in high school. I can assure you that he was pretty much the same build. He just kept getting more and more refined. It's incredible to see his growth over the last couple of years at Duke, and then his rookie year, and then also into his, all-star year this past year, and having the Magic make the playoffs and everything. So we got Hayden. I don't know if you know about Hayden, but he got banned from the chat last episode, so we're gonna have to keep him on high alert. Josh asking, what are your interests outside of basketball?
Big video game guy. 2K, college football right now. I'm starting my journey as a 4-star on Stanford. So, yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome to play video games. I love video games my whole life. Like I said, I used to be a chubby fat kid just sitting there playing video games all day. So it's kind of just my inner child.
What position are you playing as in college football?
QB for sure.
How's your first couple seasons going?
I didn't play my first year at all, but now I carved out a starting position. So just a lot of hard work going on right now.
Did you play much high school football in high school, or?
No, I didn't play football. Well, I played football all the way up until high school, and then I just played basketball.
Did you ever play any other sports as a kid, or just football and basketball?
Yeah, I played like every sport except for like soccer and hockey and all that. Like football, baseball, basketball, I played. So
that's good. I want to go back to your Indiana Wesleyan days. Talk about the decision to transfer and kind of that transfer portal and how that all worked for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really hard decision. It was just because I love the place so much, and like people don't get that. Like when I was first thinking about it, I was just like, man, like I don't know if I can leave this place because I really like love it, and I just decided to, and obviously ended up doing it just because it felt like the right decision for me and my career. And yeah, it's been great. The portal is hectic. Everyone kind of knows that, especially with like how NIL works nowadays. But it ended up being less stressful because relatively, like out of all the people in the portal, I got out decently early. So it didn't like it was crazy, but I feel like I got out before I got too overwhelmed, and I feel like I made the right decision. So that built a lot of confidence for sure.
Well, it seems like you made the right decision having you here. I mean, you've just been
Yeah,
an integral part of this summer. Your leadership, your on-court skills, your off-court skills. It's just been incredible. Talk a little
appreciate
bit about your schools who were recruiting you, and I know us. I think Texas Tech were involved, or any others as well.
Yeah, Texas Tech, Nevada, Loyola Chicago, and I was supposed to go on two other visits, but after I came here and then went to Texas Tech, I had like made it up already in my mind that I was coming here, so I was like, man, I'm just gonna go with my heart, and didn't really. I just kind of canceled those two visits and then committed. So.
What was kind of the cherry on top for the Boise State visit that made you like, yeah, this is home?
I think it might have been just the people. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like obviously Simon was a big deal, but like when I got here, it was like I don't even know. Like in high school, like when you get that feeling, it's just like it just feels really good. Like with the coaches and then with the teammates that were here with me. Like I met you on the visit. I met Omar. I met Keen briefly, and then I met Ems, which if you know Ems is a personality to say the least. So it was just I just got that feeling. Like that's the only other way I can explain it. Like when people ask me, so that's really it.
I mean, when I came on my visits, my junior year of high school here, I mean, I got that same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this, it was my only visit I ever went on, only official visit. And it was just like, this is home. Like I knew this was the place I wanted to be. And it's cool to hear your story about it and just how it feels like home. Cause I know this coaching staff loves our players and loves everyone that comes in and just makes everyone feel like an integral part of home.
Who was your host, Tyson? I don't know if I've ever asked you that. Who was your host on your visit?
It was Riley Abercrombie.
Okay.
I still have the in my pictures the visit like schedule of everything that we did. It was a crazy weekend. That's all I remember. It was just a lot of stuff going from thing to thing and football games.
The lunch at Deli George, right?
We did have lunch at Deli George. I never forget that with Coach Rice. Always a story I always like to tell about how he's like the first coach to really tell me like you're playing you're gonna play professional basketball after college, and it really kind of ingrained it in me and really changed the course of my high school and college career. So appreciate him for that. If you guys have any more questions, please get them in the comments. I saw Al peeking in over there. Must have just got done with his workout.
Javin, tell us about Tyson, man. He doesn't want to ask about himself, obviously, but having a guy like that, maybe going to become the all-time leading scorer in school history, 4 years at the same place, first team, probably the preseason player of the year. I mean, to have a guy like that as a team captain leading you guys this year, what's that like, man?
It's awesome, bro. Like Tyson is, I mean, we joke around with him and we call him Mr. Boise, all that stuff, but it's true. Like just more importantly, off the court, like who he is off the court, I think that's even bigger than the basketball side. Like there's a ton of people good at basketball, like all league guys, but not a lot of them are really good. And then off the court, also like great people and great humans. And I just think that's the biggest thing about Tyson that I've noticed is just like, there's no ego. There's no, I'm the senior, I'm better than you. Like, listen to me. Like, he's really just he's just a great leader. Like everyone knows that. So I think that's the biggest thing that stuck out to me. Obviously, everyone knows the skill set and he's a pro already, but I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed so far.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Got a question from Josh. How have your parents been an influence on you?
Turn it on. Alvaro's listening. No, they've been my biggest influence. Like my mom and my dad have just, I don't even know. Like they've just showed me especially like the work ethic. Like my mom works all day long. Like we'll never hear her complain about anything, and that's kind of showed me that kind of mindset. Like no matter how hard it gets here, like my mom just really showed me the work ethic side of things, and also just how caring she is for others. And I think that's something I've really carried into my life, is just caring more for others than yourself at times. Not saying other people are above you or anything like that, but really putting others before yourselves, and having that humility is something my mom and dad have taught me my whole life. So
Love
that's
that.
probably the biggest
Love
thing.
that. We got Hayden asking, do you play tennis?
Is this the dude that got kicked out or
Yeah.
banned? No, I don't play tennis. I tried pickleball, but I suck.
Who'd you play pickleball with?
My girlfriend, of course, she brought me out to the courts. I thought I was gonna be tough, and then I quickly figured out I was not good at pickleball.
Brandon's asking, where are you at right now?
Me and Alvaro are in the locker room. Hey. Hey.
That's our like outside of our locker room. We have like a kitchen area and a video
Show them
game.
the TV and stuff. You should give them a little tour right there. What do we
A
got?
little quick tour.
Yeah, man, we got everything. We blessed. Look at that. This is the most important part over here, the fridge. Woo.
You got the lean feast over there in the fridge, Tyson.
You already
Yeah.
know that.
We're in there.
Who's the best? Who's any pool sharks over there on the team? Anybody dominating the pool game?
We haven't played pool yet. Al's raising his hand, but
I feel like you need the cover for the ping pong. Maybe that'd go a little better than pool for
Yeah,
college
low
basketball
key.
players.
I think ping pong is a little bit easier to just pick up. Pool, you got to set it all up, and the pool cues are a little used. They're wearing down the tip part of it. But
yeah, and the kid campers came in here and just tornadoed all the pool cues, so it's
True.
just
I feel
everywhere.
like that's more of a Burns and Duryea thing to go play pool at some point than
a little bit. We got Chad asking your favorite type of food.
Ooh, I mean, I'm not picky, but like, wings for sure. Just I don't think you can. I would never be unhappy with wings.
You a bone in or bone out guy?
Oh, this might lose me some fans. At a restaurant, probably boneless, but I do enjoy traditional.
I like that answer. I'm with you. I'm definitely a boneless guy, but I will eat traditional.
Okay, cut out. We good.
We're good.
RJ King.
RJ Keen took his feet on that table.
Of course you did.
Keen's a loudmouth. He gets the word out.
That's
Chad's asking, what's your opinion on Johnny Ballgame?
probably never met him yet.
Nah, never met Johnny Ballgame.
You'll meet him. He's a sports media.
Local radio guy in town, does some stuff here on BNN as well. He's a good dude.
He's a great personality. Like just very, very outgoing, loves sports. One of our radio guys. Awesome. He was on the broadcast last night with us too. So if you ever watch that, you can get a little preview of Johnny Ballgame. As we're kind of wrapping up here, I want to ask you one more question. It's this question I ask every guest that kind of comes on the show. I think it gives a good overview of like your upbringing a little bit and kind of people that have helped you kind of shape you into the person that you are. And I know you already mentioned your parents, but like who's someone else that has made a huge impact in your life?
Ooh, it's a loaded question. There's so many people that I'm gonna leave somebody out. But I would just say overall, just my whole support system, like my aunts, my uncles, my siblings. It's just something about being I'm the youngest of 7 in my family. Something about being the baby, like growing up, you're always kind of like fighting with each other. It seems like you hate each other. But now that I'm the baby and like I'm doing well, it's like the support is just like, and all the love I get from them, no matter what I do on the court, like I could be anywhere right now and they wouldn't care. It's just showed me the unconditional love throughout my whole life. And like, just think that ends up being what's the most important. Like whatever I do here, whatever I've done in the past, like doesn't matter because I always got them. So I think that's the biggest thing. Shout out to the fam.
Great answer. Love it.
Yeah.
Javan,
I got one more question, Tyson.
you got it.
Javan, what did you when you heard that you guys were going to the Cayman Islands? What was your thoughts? I'm sure not sure you guys took any trips like that at the NAIA level.
No, we took a trip to Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, but those are all summer trips. So we never played like a seasonal, like actual games anywhere else. So like, man, you should ask my mom how excited she was. She was more excited than me. She's like, I'm going. I don't care what work says. Like, they gonna have to fire me because I'm going. So it was awesome. Like, I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun.
You have your passport? You ready to go?
Yeah. I got my passport. All good.
That's one of those things where you got to make sure you get it done now.
Put together, dude.
Yeah, Josh saying you're a put together dude. Happy to have you on your side. Welcome to the family.
A little bit put together.
You're very put together, JB. So
Whoa.
Appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate the time. Glad you're able to make it on here. And you can tell Al he can hop on whenever.
Go ahead, Al. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Javin.
Appreciate it.
In the morning, JB.
Yes, sir.
There he is, Javin Buchanan. Tyson, good stuff there, man.
He's awesome. He's just one of those guys that you just love to be around. And just such an awesome soul and always uplifting, no matter what the circumstances are.
Let's get to Alvaro Cardenas in just a minute, but here's a quick word from ICCU.
What? Dude.
Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Tyson, I joked about the lean feast in the fridge there, but I know the team is having some lean feast, and you're obviously involved heavily with them. And I know they just signed Ahmed Hassanin from the football team as well. And now they deliver too, so no excuses to not eat healthy with lean feast.
Absolutely. I love their delivery system. Go to their website, leanfeast.com/Meridian. You can order your food there. You can set it on a reoccurring schedule to order every week. I think it saves you like 3% a week if you subscribe that way. Other than that, you can customize your order and they'll send it right to your door. It's very, very convenient now. I have no excuse to not order it every week, so need to make sure I get mine tomorrow. But shout out to Lean Feast. Thankful for their sponsorship of the show.
Yeah, and the web address is actually incorrect there. I need to update that. It's leanfeastmeridian.com, leanfeastmeridian.com. And you're right. They now deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. And this ain't the frozen stuff you see sometimes. It's fully customizable. You pick how much of what you want. It's all fresh. You put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and you're good to go. So shout out Dave and the staff over at Lean Feast. Prater and I will be doing a show out there in the near future. So excited for that. All right, Tyson, before we bring him on, give us your early impressions on Alvaro Cardenas.
Like I said earlier, he's everything we could have asked for and more. It's just been awesome to have him on campus after watching him play at the U22 little friendly games over in the Czech Republic, I believe. So I want to give a very warm welcome to our transfer point guard, Alvaro Cardenas. Al, welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate that.
Do you mind trying to flip your camera sideways by any chance?
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Let me do this real quick.
Now, Tyson, while he's doing that, I'm going to say, man, he's wearing the red shirt now, but I got to be honest, the first time or two I've seen him wearing the Boise State shirts, it still looks a little different, man. Not used to it, but it's pretty good sight to see.
It's a great sight to see. I love seeing him in the blue and orange rather than the blue and yellow. I'm sure he's enjoying the blue and orange.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to you a little bit about how much you're enjoying the city. I mean, you just came over about 2 or 3 weeks ago from Europe playing in the U22 Nationals. Talk a little bit about your experience in Boise so far.
Man, I'm loving the city so far. So I'm a big nature guy, so I've just been, exploring everything that the city of Boise has to offer. So, I've been at the river a good amount of times. I've been on some hikes. I went to the Sun Valley on July 4th. Did an amazing hike over there. So yeah, man, I'm just loving it. It's a amazing city. Downtown is super cool too. So yeah, it's been great.
Have you floated the river yet?
I have, yeah, indeed, with my teammates as well.
It's good.
We were all there.
How did you enjoy that?
It was great. It was great. You got to join next time, Tyson.
I know. I unfortunately had to miss that one, but if we're going again, I'll be there. I promise you.
We're gonna go again for sure.
For sure. I want to ask you, do you have like a favorite food spot in Boise so far? I know you don't really have a car right now, but you found any good food spots?
Yeah, I'm a big healthy type of stuff. So paddles up, I've tried it. It's pretty good. I tried this spot called Maza Mediterranean Food or something like that. Pretty solid too. And rush bowls. Those have been my top 3 so far.
There you
But I'm
go.
still exploring.
Hey, if you have any recommendations for Alvaro food, get them in the comments. We'll get them over to him, and maybe we'll have him on again for a food review. So Chase said you got a high-fived him last night at the Legends Classic. So shout out to Chase for showing up and supporting Bronco Nation. I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience at San Jose. We played you 5 times over the course of 3 years. You had a great 3 years there. Talk a little about your growth throughout your time there.
Yeah, I mean, my time at San Jose was great. I feel like it was such a great learning experience for me. Freshman year, I came on, and honestly, I wasn't supposed to start that year. We were going to sign somebody else, but certain circumstances happened, and I ended up being the starting point guard during that year. And I mean, honestly, I struggled my first year because I didn't think I was physically ready to compete especially at the Mountain West level. And it took some time to get used to, but I felt like that experience was great for me. Because I got so much playing time, and it kind of helped me for my next year. The second year, we had an amazing year. It was like one of the best years in school history. And last year, it just, wasn't the best. We weren't up to par with NIL, and it was pretty hard to recruit. And yeah, we just weren't that competitive. But I mean, like I've said every single time I've been asked about it, I have a lot of love for Coach Miles and the whole coaching staff at San Jose, everybody that's involved there. And I thought it was just great for me to continue to develop as a player, but I think it was time for me to kind of move on and look for something different.
We got 2 food recommendations in the comments already. We have, if you like a burger, go to Boise Fry Company from Brandon. There's one downtown. Yep. This one's a little higher end. Josh says someone needs to take you to Barbacoa. That's one of our nicer steakhouses in the area. So hopefully we can get you out there at some point.
Check him out.
Do want to ask you a little bit about the transfer portal. BJ was mentioning it. I want to ask you if this is true. Did Coach Burns come to San Jose to talk to you right after we lost to Colorado?
Yeah, I felt like that was that was like a mind-blowing moment for me. And that's when I realized like they really wanted me here. Because, it was, you guys were playing in the tournament the day before I entered the portal. I got a text from Coach Burns the morning after. And you guys are preparing for the game. But he, I felt like he really valued me as a player and didn't want to miss out on being able to recruit me. And you know how the portal goes, people that show interest from the beginning kind of have a little bit of a head start. And yeah, literally the day after you guys lost against Colorado, he was in San Jose having lunch with me. And it was such a surreal experience. But yeah, from there we built an amazing connection. Coach Burns is my guy. I love that guy, and he really showed me from the beginning that Boise was really interested in me.
That's great. I mean, I remember him. We talked either the night after or the next morning. He's like, "I'm gonna go to San Jose and go see Alvaro." I'm like, "That's awesome." Just to see how driven he is to make this team better, and I think that's something I appreciate about this coaching staff is. Doesn't matter what circumstance they're given, they're always going to try to improve, no matter what happens. We got a great question from I think it's Javin Buchanan. Who is your favorite teammate?
Yeah, I mean, what a funny guy he is. I would say Omar Stanley. Javin's a good guy, but we're not that close yet.
Is that him in the back?
Yeah, that's him.
That's him. I like it. Talk a little more about the portal a little bit. Who kind of was recruiting you? What were you kind of looking for in a school and those type of things?
Well, obviously, you know how the portal is. A bunch of schools reach out, more than 40 schools, 50 schools. So you kind of have to, you can't just talk to everybody because then it becomes a super stressful process, which already is. So you kind of cut down. One of the things that I had in my mind is I didn't want to go down a level to a lower conference. I either wanted to stay somewhere in between, whether it would be the West Coast Conference, which I feel is a similar level of the Mountain West, or go up because I also kind of wanted to experience that high major basketball. But the Mountain West is kind of turning into high major. We had 6 teams in the tournament last year. So yeah, that was kind of one of my main things coming in. Another thing was just, just being able to go somewhere where I was going to have a similar role to the one I had in San Jose, where I didn't want to take a big risk of like, how many guards do they have? Am I going to have to like really fight for a spot? Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like, I love competition, but at the same time, I didn't want to take that big of a risk for my last year because I understand that I want to play professional basketball and, I wanted to play, obviously. So those were kind of the 2 main things. Obviously, just being the right place for me, playing wise, how they played, like, their playing style, stuff like that. But yeah, so a bunch of schools reached out and kind of came down to, I would say, Minnesota, Colorado State, Santa Clara, and Boise. Minnesota came a little bit later, and I kind of had almost made up my mind at that point. And yeah, I think Boise just did the best job out of all those schools of being consistent and just proving to me that I was the guy that they were looking for. And that's all it took for me to like commit here. And also, but like I said, I had not a bad experience, but didn't win that many games at San Jose State. And I know that I wanted to go somewhere where there was a different culture and where we had a chance to go to a tournament, because this was my last year and I want to have that experience and, not only make it to the tournament, but be able to win some games in there. Because I feel like that's the goal that we all have.
But that didn't end your recruitment though, right? At least when you committed, or at least didn't end people trying to keep recruiting you.
Yeah, man. The portal is a crazy place, and even after you commit, they'll still come at you, and they talk about money and how much they can offer you and stuff like that. But to me, that was never the most important thing, because I look at it in the long run. I'm not just looking at how much can I make now, but where can I continue to develop as a player to have a professional career and be successful in the future. And also, when people just come with money, I'm not sure I can trust them that much, because I kind of want to see people just look at me for my basketball abilities and not just throw a number and say, hey, you want to come here as like a last resource because I don't have anybody else. So
I like it. I like that. That's very, very, very cool to you say that money's not the main thing. And I believe you made the best decision for you coming here. You've been incredible so far, and only the chemistry is going to keep growing. Do want to ask you a little bit about your childhood. You grew up in Spain. Talk a little about that, the basketball culture there, and how you kind of ended up back in the States.
Yeah, so I grew up in a city in Spain called Granada. It's in the south of Spain, so closer to Africa. And man, my childhood was great. I started playing soccer, and then I switched to basketball. So kind of the story of my life, I was like a very late bloomer. Never really got the recognition for my talent, or the kids that are younger and are more physically gifted are gonna at first be like better players technically. They're gonna have better results, but I was never that guy. So I was in the best club in my city, and I decided to make the decision, which I think was one of the best decisions in my life, to go to a club that wasn't that successful, but where I could be the guy, and at the same time I would be able to play with the senior team, which is in the 4th league in Spain. So I kind of had that balance of having my own team where I could make mistakes, which is super important when you're young, and be able to have the ball in your hands, make decisions, all that stuff, and at the same time have that challenge of playing with older guys that are 30, 25, since you're 16 years old. And those guys, some of them are retired pros, people that are trying to make it, right? So it was a great experience for me. And the club is La Lluvia, which is my hometown club. Love them so much. I always go back and practice there with all the little kids and stuff. And yeah, after that, I decided that I wanted to try the college route. It was really hard coming from Spain, and it wasn't such a common thing back then. So kind of got in contact with some people, and they recommended the Get Better Academy in Czech Republic. And it's basically like a prep school, but instead of being in America, you do it in Czech Republic. They did like a tour in the States and stuff like that, and they had contact with a lot of college coaches. So I made the decision to go there. COVID hit, so it was kind of hard to get recruited because we only played 6 games. But somehow in late May, I got an offer from David Miller, which was our assistant coach at San Jose State. He's at Xavier now. And it was just crazy because he texted me on WhatsApp and he was like, "You want to hop on a Zoom call?" Hopped on a Zoom call with Coach Miles. That was his first year. And yeah, just committed on the spot straight away because that's the only option that I really had. So that's how I kind of got into college basketball.
That's quite the story. I didn't, obviously you know a little bit about like the leagues in Europe and how that kind of works, but you have to go to almost a prep school and just a crazy story. What club? I know people know a little bit about the connection between you and Thomas Broplay. Was he?
Yeah.
What club did he play for?
Yeah. So when I was in Czech Republic, I played there for my first 3 months. Then COVID got really bad in Czech Republic, so I went back to Spain, and I played in the club called Granada, Fundación Granada, which is a club that's in the ACB, which is the first league in Spain. Back then, they were in the second league, which is still a really, really high league in Europe, like one of the top leagues, because Spain is like the best country for basketball in Europe. So I practiced with them for like 2 months until the situation in Czech Republic got a little bit better, and they needed some guys as well. So I practiced with them for 2 months. That's where I met Thomas. He was such a great vet and kind of took me under his wing from the very first moment. And then I went back to Czech Republic. So I never played games with them or anything like that. I was just, blessed to have the opportunity to practice with them for, 2 months and learn from all those pros that ended up getting the team to promote to the ACB that following year. So
that's so cool. I've always known that the basketball world is small, and just hearing stories like that makes it even, realize how much smaller it is than people think. You cross paths with someone who you never really think about, you'll see in the future, and then it happens to be one of the alumni here. And what did he kind of teach you like back then that has really helped you to become the player you are today?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of how he approaches his work ethic and kind of how he approaches the game. I feel like he's a guy that's never like too high or too low. He's a very steady guy, and just kind of see it in his routine, how he like treated his body, took care of his body, and then just stayed after practice every day, very consistent. He used to stay with Alex Murphy, another guy that played at Duke and then Florida, and yeah, they would always stay after practice. The only two guys that stayed, and just worked on their shots and game reps and stuff like that. And it was just super special to see that for a guy that had been playing already for 8 years. And this is a guy who was in the second league of Spain, for people that don't know, for 6-7 years, just grinding, and kind of had some opportunities, but never really had the opportunity to play in the ACB. And finally, when Granada got promoted, they kept him, and he went off. He scored like 12 and a half a game, which is really, really good for a first league in Spain. And it kind of just shows that if you stay consistent and you grind, the opportunity is going to come. So it's just great to see that, and I've been a fan since then.
That's so cool. That's such an awesome story. Super cool to see you guys, see each other for the first time in a while here. And how do you think the TBT team is going to play on tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they're going to win. I mean, I don't expect less. They got a really talented group of guys. Between him and Derek and Marcus, all those guys that I've played against. I mean, they got a squad, so I feel like they can make some noise if they play some great defense, which they're going to do.
Absolutely. Do want to talk to you about one more thing basketball-wise, the U22 friendlies that you were playing at before you came to Boise. Talk a little about that experience.
Yeah. So I never got a call up for the Spanish national team because, people don't really know that much about me back there. But I felt like they had no choice but to call me this time because I had a great year with San Jose, on the individual level. And yeah, it was such a great experience. I'm so blessed to be able to do that and just, represent your country, even if it's a friendly. It was amazing. And also just, being around guys that have been playing pro since they were little and just kind of picking their brains, seeing how they move without the ball, how tactically they're kind of on a different level from people here in the United States. And it was just a great experience. I got coached by one of the best coaches in the ACB. I felt like I learned so much even in 2 weeks. So, I'm so grateful. And I felt like it just helped me become a better player and, just understand what things I can get better at and what things are my strengths.
Love it. Josh asking, how would you describe your game?
Yeah, I would say I'm I'm a pass first guy. Like I really enjoy just, getting my teammates open looks. But at the same time, I feel like I can score it pretty well. I can shoot from the outside. But I just take a lot of pride in just doing all the little things that is going to help the team win, whether that's, pressuring full court or being really physical defensively and, just all those little things.
Love it.
How tough was it oh, sorry, Tyson.
No, go ahead, BJ. You're good.
I was going to say, man, like I know we've talked to you about this, but how tough was it at times when you come running out of the tunnel there at San Jose State and there's, 50 people in the stands and just have you thought about a packed house every night when you run out and how much you might feed off that?
Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. It was really tough, especially because coming off that second year, I felt like we were going to build some momentum. Because, we won 21 games. Like, we were 5th in the Mountain West Conference and sent 4 teams to the tournament. And New Mexico made it to the NIT, and they were 6th. So I thought we would get a little bit more support. But it's just really tough at San Jose State. It's a really tough place to play at. And at times it was a little bit disappointing. But, I mean, you got to understand that's just how it is. It's a commuting school. It's not like a lot of people stay on campus and stuff like that. So, it wasn't the best thing ever. And I actually really enjoyed playing on the road more than at home because, you go to all these Mountain West arenas and they're packed. Like even Boise, we were 10th in the league, 11th, and it was almost like a full crowd. And that kind of just shows the support that people have here for the program and how involved they are in the community. And even just, going to the event last night or in the camp the other day, like people come here and want to take pictures with you and, are willing to buy a season pass and, support you all the way. And I feel like people that haven't been outside of Boise kind of take it for granted, like how, impactful the community is here. So it's been great. I'm super excited to be able to, play in front of all these fans. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, not to say anything bad about San Jose State, but you might have had games last year at home, Alvaro, where you had more fans last night at the event than you probably had for home games. I mean, that's crazy.
Most definitely. To be honest with you, most of them. And, it was a little bit sad because, we worked hard. Like, we worked really hard. That's something you can't take away from us, and we were unlucky with certain things. But we left our all on the court, and we had a lot of close games. But, you just don't get the support that you would expect. And it's a little bit sad, but it's just part of it, and you just got to understand where you're at.
Marcus Shaver Jr. say anything to you about that 3 he hit a couple years ago, or? I
remember that. I don't want to think about that too much.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That was on my guy Omari, but we got him back the year on the second game though. I don't know if you remember that, BJ.
That's right.
That was
and you almost got him again last year, right, Tyson? I think they were up 9 on you guys.
Yeah, that was our first conference game. That was not a great first half by us, and we just found a way to win. So
that was Amy versus Omar, just going back and forth, man. That was incredible.
Oh my God, they both had 30. That was crazy.
In the first half, almost too. I think Amy had like 25 or something.
25 in the first half. He couldn't miss.
It seemed like he was shooting into the ocean at that point.
Where did he go? He ended up going somewhere that I was surprised he went though. Did he go to
so LMU?
Okay.
So he had Cal, Butler, Creighton, and he chose LMU. But I thought it was a great opportunity for him. The coaches love him and really trust him, and he needs to be supported and feel wanted. And I feel like that was a perfect place for him. Super happy.
Dude, I'm doing all the Lindy's magazine stuff. I was looking at your team last year. I mean, you had some good players too. I mean, the other I'm thinking of the couple other guys. I mean, they lost, I guess, all 5 starters for the most part. But I mean, you guys had a pretty good. It's like you said, building off that previous year. It's a shame it didn't work out last year. It seems like Coach Miles seems like he'd be a good guy to play for, though.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Miles is a great guy. I felt like we had a great relationship. He really trusted me, and made me put the ball in my hands to make plays. But we were just really unlucky. We had such a our roster was not very deep. And then when Robert Biola got injured, that's one of my best friends. It just became an uphill battle, and we knew from the beginning because Adrame came from Washington State. He hadn't played much. He needs to get stronger, and he has good abilities. Like, he's going to be able to be a good player, but I don't think he was fully ready yet to be a starter. And Rob had already averaged 7 and 7, leading the Mountain West in offensive rebounds. So I really believe in my heart that if we had Rob, that just that one player could have made such a big difference because that's the only thing we were missing. And then when we would have looked at the end of that season and we were winning, I don't know, 8, 7 games, whatever it is. But, I mean, you can't go back in those things. And good thing about it is that he's healthy now and going to be able to play against them.
He was a force. I remember playing him our sophomore
He was at Fresno. He was at Fresno State for folks
He
who
was
are
at
watching.
Fresno his freshman year, and then he was at San Jose my sophomore year. And he was a
Mhm.
tank, man. He was so strong.
He is.
Just
So
found
strong.
a way to get offensive rebounds. It just didn't matter. You had to really, really box him out, and even then, he'd still end up getting some rebounds.
Yeah.
Got one last
Yeah.
question for you, Al. It's a question I asked all the guests. Gets a great way to get to know you a little bit more, and like who in your life has made the biggest impact on you. You know, it could be
I'd say my parents for sure. You know, my dad was a professional coach in Spain. Not a lot of people know this story, but he even coached in the ACB for a few games. And he decided to stop playing coaching professional basketball because he wanted to be around his family and kind of gave up on his dream to be able to raise his kids and, you know, be there for us. And the same with my mom. She doesn't get the same recognition, but they've both sacrificed so much for me and my brother to, you know, be able to play sports and, you know, do everything that we wanted to, travel and all that stuff. And man, they're amazing. I love them. I'm sad that they're so far from me and I can't talk to them as much as I would want to. But yeah, they're definitely my biggest inspiration and my heroes for sure.
Have they been able to see you play in the States at all?
Yeah, they came. They watched me play at San Jose State, which is not the same. But I'm so excited because they're coming the beginning of December this year. So they're going to be able to finally watch me play in front of whatever it is, 13,000 people or whatever it is in that game. But I mean, I'm super excited for that.
We got a comment from Brian. Got to tell you, I hated you when we played you. Now looking forward to you cutting up opponents for the Broncos. So
yeah, man, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I wasn't the biggest fan of Boise State at first either. But I was surprised when they recruited me. But man, I'm loving it now. So,
Why was that? What was your impression from afar?
yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like such a solid team, you know. And it kind of was like, damn, like these guys, like they don't make like mistakes. They're like so solid on defense, like so disciplined, and it kind of just made me not like you guys. Tyson won Freshman of the Year. He was in my freshman class, so I also didn't like Tyson.
Didn't you get into it with Max Rice too under the basket? What was going on?
Yeah, I got into it with Max Rice too. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Boise. That's why I was so surprised when they recruited me, and that was the first thing that Coach Rice told me when he recruited me. He said, you know, I saw your name in the portal, and I was talking to Coach Burns. I talked to Max, and he's like, should I go get Cardenas? He was like, hell yeah. So you know, that's just part of the game, and two competitors going at it. So yeah.
Well, Al, really appreciate your time. Glad to have you on the show. Glad to show you off to Bronco Nation. We're really excited to have you here. So appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the morning.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Alvaro.
All right.
There he is, Alvaro Cardenas. Jolene saying, Tyson, two phenomenal additions to the BSU basketball family.
100%. They are two incredible human beings. Love having them on the team. Love having them here, and really excited to see what they can do this year.
I got to tell you, man, I mean, I know this is kind of a Leon thing, but I mean, it just seems like the character of the guys on your team, the guys he recruits, there is a certain kind of guy, you know, and very rarely, it's been occasional, but very rarely do they take a guy that, you know, is not a good guy, so to speak, or has, you know, issues. And it seems like it's always the right guys that fit, and you guys always gel together. And I'll peek my head in at practice, and, you know, half the team runs over and shakes my hand, you know. I mean, it just seems like it's the right, whatever, whether it's just Leon recruiting the right guys or the training they give you guys or what. But I'm never surprised that when like a guy commits and I get him on an interview that he's very well spoken and very good. I mean, it seems like it's a lot of you guys are all very similar like that.
Coaching staff does a great job recruiting the right guys. We call them OKGs, our kind of guys. And, you know, I think Coach Rice and all the coaching staff does a great job of locating those guys because they know the talent level's there for sure. It's just all about finding the right guys, the right pieces for us, and guys that will gel with everyone. And I think that's more important than anything.
Josh says everyone seems intellectual and mature.
We have a very mature team. I mean, if you talk to Alvaro about basketball, I mean, you can learn so much in just a short time with him. And JB knows the game very, very well. We got a lot of guys that know the game in and out, and it's really, really fun to pick each other's brains and help each other out in that way.
What have you noticed with Al in terms of on the court, what he's going to do to help you guys? And, I've heard from some people like he's even like hitting dudes in the head because he's making great passes and they're not ready for it. Like what is his addition going to do there, in terms of him at point guard?
It's just one of those things where we have like kind of a learning curve because he's making passes that we're not, accustomed to looking for. Like even with me, he makes these passes on the pick and roll and my guy helps in from the corner. He's going to sling it to me and I just have to, do a better job of being ready for anything because he sees the court, side to side, he sees everything and he makes the right read every time. And so you just got to be ready for every pass because he's such an unselfish player and always makes the right play.
Well, 2:00 tomorrow, man. TBT wants a Bronco. Hopefully they can get it done and extend their run in the tournament. They would play, I believe, either the 2 or 7 seed, which would be the alumni team from Texas or the alumni team from Houston in the second round if they're able to advance. But I know we said on the broadcast last night, hopefully it's not for a while because you're in the NBA and they won't let you do it or whatever. But, I mean, someday if you ever have the opportunity, that's something you'd be excited about, right?
Oh, man. I mean, it's so exciting as a player. Talking to Abu and Shave and Naj and 12, like those are guys we won a championship with. And looking back and talking to D Marks and Bro Play and Justinian and all those guys. I mean, it's just so incredible to get to know them a little bit more, become even more of a brotherhood. And it's something I want to be a part of for the rest of my life is this brotherhood that we've built here.
I mean, that was 4 fifths, and then you're the 5th one, obviously, of the starting lineup against Northwestern, right? In the tournament, I believe. Or maybe it was, I guess Key Jab, and then you would go back to the Memphis. But I mean, you got 4 or 5 guys that were out there playing in the NCAA tournament with you on this team.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a lot of these guys that are on this team have laid the foundation with Coach Rice to build the program to what it is now. And it was funny walking in the locker room and D Mark's like, this is not how it was when I was here, and just shows how far the program's gone and or how far it's come since Leon has taken the helm, and it's only going to continue to get better and better.
Shout out Cam Martin as well.
Yeah, shout out to Cam. If you guys don't know, he signed summer league contract with the Milwaukee Bucks. He actually left on Tuesday. He told me right as he was walking out, and I was really, really happy for him.
Tomorrow. He's playing tomorrow, I think. First game.
What time?
I think it's in the afternoon. So if you're a Boise State basketball fan, I'll check it out here. But I haven't heard the final word. I know he had to get he had a practice or something and did pretty well with them, and then he was having to get cleared by the doctor before he could play tomorrow. One final checkup. But I'll Google real quick. But I believe they signed him in part because they were desperate for another big for tomorrow's game. So check tomorrow because he could be out there playing tomorrow.
It's been really cool to see his rehab process and see that shoulder finally heal up and to see him shooting the ball.
It's at noon on NBA TV, ESPN Plus.
Hey, there we go.
Phoenix. You watch that at noon, and then you watch TBT at 2.
There you go. Boom. We got it all down. We'll make sure we have those on in the locker room for sure.
Yeah. ESPN Plus, NBA TV. It says 2:00, but I think that's Eastern time. But Milwaukee is at Phoenix. That's down there in Vegas. And again, I haven't heard the final word, but I think it was all trending towards him being available to play tomorrow, and that would be that's pretty cool. Another Bronco playing professional basketball. So Tyson, any final words? 2 great guests. It was a good show. We're still working on Ashton Genty, maybe for a future episode here. If we can get that done next week, maybe we'll tape it before they start practice. But what's the schedule? You guys have camps and stuff going on? Do you get a little bit of a break here pretty soon?
Yeah, we're done with kids camps for the summer, and it's been awesome to see the kids for all 4 summers that I've been here, and it's really, really cool to see them grow as I've grown too. And we get to go home on, I think, August 4th. It's our last day, so we have workouts. Our last workout's like August 2nd, elite camp's August 3rd, and then we're heading home August 4th. We got that 2-week break before school starts, so really, really excited for that. I throw out the first pitch of the Mariners game in like 3 weeks.
You been practicing?
Shoot, not enough. I need to make sure I get it. I can get it to the plate. Now I just got to make it a strike.
You better go all the way from the top of the mound.
Oh, I'm not going to go anywhere else unless it's the top of the mound because I know I'd have way too many people give me crap about it, and I don't want that.
Well, I think hopefully we'll have one more episode before that. We can dive into that part of it a little more, and maybe it'll be a good time to bring Burns back on, tell some more Mariners stories and stuff. Who knows?
We could get him on there. I think we could get one the like last week of July, first week of August, get one there, and then one the first week of school, and start working on that and see if we can get some of the football guys on here and just see what we can do. Make this.
Shout out to Mrs. Degenhart, by the way, as well. They'll be in a lifesaver with the bottle of water last night.
Yeah,
It was super hot.
It was very hot in that gym. I didn't realize how sweaty I was until someone told me about my back, and it's just one of those rings just straight down.
Oh yeah, I had like 4 or 5 comments afterwards. Man, it must have been 1,000 degrees there. Looking at you guys' faces, I was like, yeah, it was really hot.
It was very hot, and we were not close to a fan, so
No.
it was very warm. We couldn't.
I didn't get the memo. I had long sleeves on, but I had no shirt underneath, so I had no choice. Tyson should throw underhand.
No,
I cannot. Brooke.
I cannot throw underhand. I think Brooke would get mad at me if I threw underhand.
Yeah, if it's for a softball game, you could maybe pull it off, but if it's a baseball game, that would look a little odd for you to go out there and throw underhand.
I just think I got to throw it overhand. Got to throw a strike. Be a lot of pressure. As long as the Mariners keep playing well, it should be a good crowd. So I'm excited.
Your man Hayden's asked this a few times, so I guess I'll throw it in there. What'd you think of the Kenny Chesney show?
He's awesome. I love it. I love Kenny. It's a great concert. It was very, very hot, but actually it wasn't as hot as I thought it would be. So it was very enjoyable.
I'm looking forward. I'm not a big concert guy, just with kids, and I mean I am. I just never get the chance to go. But in a couple weeks, Luke Bryan.
I'm going to that one.
All right, I'll see you there then. I've got some. That's the one I've been looking forward to for a while, that I just finally have a date that I can go, and looking forward to going. So actually my wife and kids are out of town, so I got to find a friend that wants the other ticket I got. So I'm going to have to, if anybody wants to go with me, maybe you'll let me know. We'll figure something out, but that's going to be a fun one.
It should be a fun one. I've only been to a handful of concerts, and I've been listening to a little bit of Luke Bryan.
He is great live too. I saw him New Year's Eve. We went in for New Year's, me and my wife, to Vegas just for a few days, and literally didn't have any plans, and saw on the wall that it was like the final days of his residency and they had tickets left, and we bought tickets in Resorts World and went and saw him play, and he was phenomenal live. And he had way more songs that I heard and was like, oh, that's him. Okay. Yeah. I know that one. That'll be that you'll enjoy that one. That'll be, he's good. He's good live.
That's kind of how I felt. I was listening to him, Luke Bryan Essentials on Apple Music, and I'd go through songs. I'm like, I know this one. I count 10 or 11 songs where I'm like, I know at least a good chunk of the chorus to this song, and just like the tune of it too is going to be incredible in concert.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Let's we'll talk about favorite Luke Bryan songs on the next episode. But let's appreciate it as always, Tyson. Fun show, 2 good guests, and not surprised, like I said, with the guys at Leon Recruits and the guys you have in the program, that both were well spoken and funny. They're up there late tonight getting some extra shots in. That's
the kind of team we have. We have guys in there, probably have a couple more showing up right now. So that's just the kind of team we have, and it's an incredible team to be a part of.
I've already had 2 people text me saying they want to go with me, so we'll see. I think
there you go. Now you got some choices.
One of them's your boy Johnny Ballgame.
Oh, that's all right.
I'll have to think about. I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah, he doesn't
seem like the country music type of guy.
No, that's not what I was thinking. But who knows?
Oh man! All right, Tyson. Have a great rest of your evening, your weekend. Appreciate it as always, man. And we'll do it again in a couple weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks, BJ. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciate it. We'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Thanks again to Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. All your banking needs. Again, there's a branch pretty much on every corner, but that mobile app is the easiest, and the experience is just so easy. And I think I've gone into the branch like 3 times to sign up, and then when I need a money order, but everything can just be done right there from your phone, your mobile app. It's so easy to use. And again, they're investing in the local sports community and in guys like Tyson. So return the favor. You may think you have a good banking experience. I really liked my previous bank. I had no reason to leave. Did it as part of our deal with ICCU, and honestly could not be happier that I did. It's just so easy. And it's just you don't know what you're missing until you switch over to ICCU. And I wish I had made the switch earlier, because I love the folks there. So Clark and Shelby and everybody over there and the whole team, we appreciate them for their sponsorship of this show, and for BNN and for Tyson. And so support the sponsors, folks. Keep this thing rolling. Lean Feast as well. Again, leanfeastmeridian.com. You can get that online order, and they'll deliver right to your house. So support the sponsors. Keep this thing going for you, and have a great rest of your weekend. And Jay Tust and I, 9 a.m. tomorrow. We got a pregame show. We're going to preview the TBT Once a Bronco team. We have Jeff Grammer from the Albuquerque Journal coming on, and Richard Patino, the head coach at New Mexico, is also going to join me tomorrow as we get ready for the Once a Bronco versus the Enchantment game at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So have fun watching that. But again, 9 a.m. tomorrow, Jay Tust and I on Bronco Nation News Live. Thanks to Tyson. Thanks to ICCU, all of our sponsors. Most importantly, thanks for the comments and for you guys for checking out the show. And we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Bronco Nation News Live, the Tyson Degenhart Show, Season 2, Episode 2 in the books here at Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.